everybody, welcome back to Squad Moves. Now today we'll be showing you the latest car in the fleet with a little DIY hangout. So here is the car. It is my girlfriend's 1999 Honda Civic. Now this car was bought for her for less than $1,000, and it was mainly picked up to be a cheap, reliable car with good gas mileage, but recently we have had a couple issues with it. So here's what's going on. So here's what we got. Regular 99 Civic that was a great deal, less than $1,000 just as a car to be a daily, to get around and not have many issues to worry about. Just leave it stock and reliable. So just a couple things starting off that I haven't checked before that I'm gonna check now. Like down here there's a VIN stamp on the engine, so we can actually see if this is the original engine transmission setup that came with the car. It's a D16 Y7, so it's a 1.6 single cam regular Honda motor, as regular as you can get. It's engraved just slightly, but it looks like it ends in 528404. So 528404 with 404. There's one there too. So that's pretty cool. We have all original everything. And just as a daily car, it's gonna stay that way. So there might be a couple upgrades here and there. Like I thought about doing a bigger radiator and stuff like that. But as far as the engine goes, there's no fancy swaps or anything that's gonna go in here. Now, here are all the parts we have of the maintenance we're going to be doing today. Now, the car was having an issue with misfiring and overheating. So, I'm not 100% sure. Like, not too much diagnostics have been done. But the car has coolant. And when you're sitting in traffic, the temperature gauge likes to rise. So, if you turn the heat on, it's fine. If you're cruising, it's fine. And it could be a water pump, hopefully not. Other than that, the car actually runs good, and it just had an intermittent misfire. So we're just going to start with the easy stuff, which will be the radiator and thermostat. So radiator, thermostat, that should fix the overheating problem. If not, it'll end up being something like a water pump, or it shouldn't be a head gasket issue because it's not burning. There's no smoke at all, under acceleration, anything. I've driven the car, I've driven behind the car, it runs really clean. So if it was a head gasket, there'd either be leaks around the engine or it'd be leaking into the cylinder, and the oil is still all, just oil. There's no mixture. So we're going to start with this, and hopefully this fixes it as far as overheating. Other than that, we have an intermittent misfire. So we do have new NGK Iridium spark plugs, a new distributor cap, a new distributor rotor, and wires, and also a fuel filter, because it's probably the original fuel filter that in the car that came with it. Actually, if you look at it, it is right here. Honda has like the easiest one ever to work on change, but this is it. And you can see it's super rusty and everything. So compared to the new one, well, the old one looks a lot older. Getting started, we're going to get started by jacking the car up and knocking out the oil change, because that's the easiest thing. Oil's actually not too bad. So fuel filter's out, and you got brown.
You got brown.
You got brown coming out.
You got mud butt all over the place.
This filter is definitely no good. For now, we're just gonna get this one slapped in and go from there. On your distributor,
that's why I didn't.
You have all your leads coming out, and you have your striker. This thing spins with the cam. That's why the distributor on here has notches. It literally notches to the cam, and this thing spins with the cam. So that's why timing is important. But as it spins around, it'll take each one of these as it goes around, creating the spark. And depending on how you have it wired up, depends on which lead goes out, which cylinder it goes out to. In other words, super simple, super easy. Tune-up is done. We got the new radiator. We have the new fuel filter. We have a new thermostat up in here. We got new spark plugs, wires, distributor cap and rotor. And all that's left, we already did the oil change too, is going to be to top off this coolant, let it bleed and all that, and put it back on the ground. So this will be the first start with all the new stuff. It might take a little bit because the fuel filter has to definitely prime and get fuel back all the way to the rail. And it started installing. So that's good. It does feel like it's running a bit smoother. So let's go out and check the coolant. So in general, what you want to do is top off the radiator, let the car run on idle, and then once the fan kicks on, you'll notice that operating temperature. So once that fan kicks on, the thermostat opens and cycles the fluid through. So once that happens, it'll force any air pockets or whatever out through the highest point on the car, which will be the radiator in this car, especially with the front jacked up. And after it bubbles out, you make sure it's topped off. After that, you put the cap on, and your system is bled. Go driving. So just going over the distributor cap real quick. If you look inside, that's where the striker hits those 4 posts. I don't know how well you were able to see it on the camera, but with this one, you can see that the front of it, like you see that front one where it's all crusty. That's not good. You know, that's just normal wear over many years. So that can attribute to a misfire, especially with that other piece getting all old and crusty. All right, so there's that. We just have to get a code reader to turn check engine light off. It was on there for misfire. And whenever you do oil change on the Honda, old Honda, push this little button in here with your key, and there's an indicator here that you probably can't really see. It says maintenance required. It's green. It goes from yellow to red. Ours was yellow, so once you push that in, you're good to go. And in like 4,000 miles, it'll reset, telling you to do your oil change again. So that's all for today.